Let's try this V-groove, V-gouge. Oh, did you guys see that little tiny curl? Hey everybody! I need to make some micro chisels for some upcoming projects that I have. So I went on YouTube and of course I found a video on making micro chisels by a guy named Patrick Sullivans. I'll link his video below. It's a series of videos actually, and they're like really helpful and really well done. So the guy just he knocked it out of the park with the whole process, from what steel to use, how to form the blades, tempering, the whole thing. It's just amazing. Go check them out. But this video is going to be my attempt at creating based off of his videos. So the first thing he recommended was you get yourself some good steel and not try to make them out of you know, whatever you have lying around. So I went ahead and did that. You know, I had some old Sawzall blades and stuff that I had thought, you know, I'll just use these. But you know, after watching this video, I figured I better do it the way he said. So this is some old 01 tool steel in 1/8 round, and this is how it showed up. It showed up on taped to a board, so I keep it from bending and kinking. Got this on Amazon. I'll leave the link to this, the one that I bought. Wasn't expensive. Was here in a couple of days, so it was definitely worth trying. So I'm going to show you my process of attempting to recreate Patrick Sullivans' blades. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off about 4 inches. Patrick recommended 3 inches, so you're going to need about 3, but I'm not quite sure how this is going to turn out on my first attempt, so I'm going to give myself a little bit extra. This is supposedly annealed right from the factory, but we'll see. Oh, come on. Get started here. Oh yeah, it's cutting nice. Not bad at all. Easy peasy. Alright, the first blade shape I'm going to attempt to make is just basically just a small 1/8 inch chisel. Now, it seems like the easiest one to start out with, so I will go ahead and give it a shot here. Metal seems to be cutting very nicely with this little cheap file. I'm putting a skew on the tip because that's the file I'm going to make, is a little skew tip push cut chisel kind of thing. I'm not even sure what it's called, but not quite there yet. Alright, now the blade bevel angle is cut. I'm going to flatten both edges. He recommended go back to about 3/4 of an inch. So I'll just go ahead and measure that. I don't know if that's necessary or not, but I want to try and keep both sides the same. So, alright, so now we just flatten that down. Oh yeah, that's cutting nice. It looks like I'm close to about halfway through on the tip there. So I will roll it over and do the exact same thing from the other side. Alright, now that I've got the blade formed with the file, I'm going to switch to sandpaper. I got 220 grit here, and I'm going to start working with that. Yeah, it's still not getting out to that tip. I must have messed something up. Might need to go back down and start over with 220. Let me do that and get all the way out to the tip, because you can. I don't know if it shows up in the camera, but that tip is just not getting any polish on it. Okay, so I noticed that I think it was the flex of this paper when you're pushing on it. I think it was rolling that edge over that on that very tip. So I've just been pulling it, and that's been working much better. Okay, so I've got that one done, and it turned out really nice. It's ready for heat treat. Alright, the next one I'm going to work on is a gouge, a round gouge. So first I'm going to square off this end a little bit. That's nice. And then I'm just going to cut one long slow bevel, just, I think he said about just less than halfway through, or just more than halfway through from the top. And then, so I'll start on that. It's probably going to take a little while. Here, let me use the bigger one. This actually cuts pretty fast, so getting close to halfway. And now I'm going to start pulling that bevel back. So I have a long ferrule. I don't know what it would be called. I'm just going to keep working this angle until it touches, until it catches up with the front edge here. Yeah, we're there, I think. Alright. Alright, we're going to give this a shot. I'm not sure if it'll stay focused or not on that. But I'm going to take my little triangle file. I'm going to start a groove as close to the center as I can get it. But it's pretty tricky, I think. What this will do is start a little channel so that my round file can follow that. Oh, I think I got it. Yeah, it's a little too far to the right, so I'm just going to put a little pressure on to the left. See if I can move it over. Oh yeah, that's good. Nice and centered now. So now I'm just going to start cutting a channel up towards the front, and that's going to give me a little channel to run my round file down. See if it's going to focus so you guys might be able to see how well that's going to show up, but you can see the little channels starting. Oh yeah. Alright, I'll come back and when I'm done with that, and I'll start on the round file. Alright, now I've got a little notch cut with this triangle file. I'm going to come in with my little round file here and just start hollowing that out. Starting to get a nice round shape in the bottom, but I still can see a little bit of the V groove down there, so I'm going to keep going. Alright, there it is. That's the file work done. So you can see I got a nice long taper, a nice round groove cut in there. And now I'm going to start working with the sandpaper. Alright, what I have here is a 3/32 drill bit wrapped with some sandpaper. This is 220 sandpaper, and I'm going to start working and polishing that channel. Not too bad. I'm going to keep working on it with this for a little while, and then I'm going to switch it up to 400 and then 600. There you have it, folks. I got the nice polished channel in there. Now I'm going to cut the bottom bevel until it meets with the and go all the way around. I got a little ways to go. You can still see quite a bit of an edge there. Alright, now it's the same process as the other one. I'm gonna go ahead and do this top bevel, just because I didn't polish it up with any sandpaper after filing. Just gonna hit it real light. It's not important, I just want it to look nice. And then on the bevel, I'm gonna pull that and spin it as I go. So I'm just rolling it around as I'm pulling it. Looks like I knocked this corner off, so I need to be careful when I start on that front edge there, because I was a little too aggressive, and now it's all. Maybe that's not a big deal. Maybe I don't want a point on there, but I got to be a little more careful. Now that we've got our blades all filed and polished with sandpaper, we're ready for heat treat. First thing we're going to need is something to hold on to this blade, because it's going to get hot. Second thing we need is a heat source. I'm going to use this cheap little propane torch. Works just great on these little blades. So I really only need to heat up the end of this, but I want to heat up and harden the shaft. And the reason is I just don't want it bending as easily. I don't need it to be as hard as the tip, but and with these torches it's really hard if you go in from sideways, because as soon as that blade leaves the flame, it cools off almost instantly because it's so thin. So what I like to do is almost lay the blade along with this and keep like a whole bunch of it in the flame long ways. And it works really well on these little tiny blades. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but the tip is already getting red. So I want to take the tip out of the flame for a little bit until I can get the ferrule nice and hot. Should only take a few minutes. It's already turning orange, so maybe a minute. Alright, now we'll put the tip back in and wait till it glows red. Just about there. Alright, and you don't have much time. As soon as I take this out of the flame, it'll start to darken, so we'll just give it a little bit of a soak. O1 likes a little bit longer in the heat, but you don't want to overheat it, so. Alright, here we go, right into the oil. Swirl that around. And that's it, everybody. That should be heat treated. We'll check it with a file here in a second, as soon as it cools down. Alright, I'll get a paper towel. Alright, it appears it all stayed straight. Nothing went wonky in regards to straightness. Didn't warp on me or anything, so that's good. Now we just have to find out if it's hard or not. And we do that with the file, like everybody else. Oh yeah. Definitely just skating right over it. But up here, I can feel it still cutting a little bit. I don't know if you hear the difference. You hear that difference? But that's fine, because most of this is going to be in the handle, and I just wanted the tip hard, a couple inches back, and that's perfect. It turned out wonderful. All right, that's how you heat treat a blade. It's nothing too complicated, and there's probably 1,000 videos on doing it, but that's how I did it, and it worked out just fine. All right, now that we've got it all heat treated, you need to go ahead and sand off all of that black gunk from the oil quench. And the reason you do that is you want a nice polish so that you can see what color your metal turns. and we want this to be that that golden straw bronzy color when it's done. And I'm going to do my tempering in this old toaster oven. It does work, but there's some issues with tempering in one of these little ovens, is that they don't hold a lot of heat. So say your toaster oven, you set it on 400 degrees and your elements come on. They come on until it reaches 400 degrees and then they shut off. And then it will have like it'll drop in temperature by a certain amount, and then the elements will come back on, and it will cycle through that to keep it right around 400 degrees. Well, with a blade this small, it doesn't have enough mass to hold heat. So it will cool down right along with with the elements. So what you want to do is, or what I do is, I put it on this cookie sheet, and then I add a piece of black pipe in here with a lot of mass to it. And I will, once this is preheated, I will put this in here while it's preheating, and then I will go ahead and put my blade inside of that. And that will hold, that has enough mass to hold that 400 degrees onto the blade for the whole hour that we're going to leave it in there. So I'll go ahead and do that now, and then I will show you how it turns out in about an hour. Alright, we're done with our tempering. Could let it cool down on its own while it's in here, but I'm going to take it out and show you guys the color. And that's it. I hope it's showing up on the color that it turned. It's that nice, almost golden color. It's perfect. Alright, so I'm just going to mix up some of this 5-minute epoxy. I'll do the best I can to get it. Let me get a toothpick. I'm going to try and get some down in the hole there. Yeah, that worked pretty good. Get that all down in there. I'm going to go ahead and score the bottom of the file real fast. Not probably necessary, but it doesn't hurt. There, a couple little notches. That'll help keep it in there. I'll go ahead and put a little coating on the bottom here. And put it there. Make sure it goes all the way in. Alright, the last thing I need to do is just finish the handle. I'm just going to use boiled linseed oil. You can use whatever you like, really. I'll put a nice heavy helping of that on there. Probably do it a few times, make sure it's soaked in pretty good. And that's it, folks. As you can see, I made a whole bunch of them, so that's how I made the micro chisels. Let's try these chisels out. This is some black walnut. Let's start with this one. Let's see, just shave the edge off here. Pretty easy, light, very light. Alright, just a little bit of tear out. Let's try the cross grain here. Oh my gosh, just whispers right through there. Like butter. Holy smokes, alright. Let's try the next one here. Woohoo, it's even easier because it's smaller. Jeez. So light. Alright, before I get too carried away there, here's a little paring chisel. Let's see the edge, the end grain here. Whoop, keeps slipping off because it's so tiny. That one just wants to dig in. Alright, I'm going to get carried away. Let's try this V-groove, V-gouge. Oh, did you guys see that little tiny curl? Put a little more pressure, see what happens. Oh my gosh. I could do that all day. Alright, let's try the round gouge here. Oh my gosh. That one might need a little more work on the blade, but I'm pretty happy with it. Walnut's not the hardest wood, but it's not the softest either. This is cutting right through it, so all in all, I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. Very nice.